Joining me now, the Republican Senator Lindsey Graham on the Armed Services Committee just returned from the Middle East. I know you were in the Gulf as well as in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
You just heard the reporting. The president is going to ask for an authorization of force against ISIS. Something, he indicated he might do. People didn't expect it to happen tonight.
Right.
He goes on to say, tonight I call on this Congress to show the world we are united in our mission by passing a resolution to authorize the use of force against ISIL. Will you vote for that?
Absolutely, and I just got back today at 8 o'clock in the morning. I met with a Free Syrian commander in Saudi Arabia, representatives of the Free Syrian government, and our strategy when it comes to Syria is not working. ISIS is stronger than Syria than they've ever been. So I'll vote for an authorization to use force, but please understand, until you neutralize Assad's air power, there's an unholy alliance between the Assad regime and ISIL. The Syrians told us that ISIL sells oil and wheat to Assad, financing the war.
Oh, so they're telling you that's the way he's actually getting what the rest of the world is trying to cut him off from.
So he's getting oil and wheat from ISIS. They're getting money and weapons, and the Free Syrian Army is in the middle of this. And if you train up the Free Syrian Army and you send them back to fight ISIS, Assad will kill them after they're successful. This strategy is going to fail. It's immoral and militarily unsound.
Now, the president wants authorization. You're saying you'd give that to him. You just heard our Nick Payton-Walsh. He's in Yemen. The American embassy is under threat. This is the home of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, which is, at this moment, seems to be the most powerful, active group, part of al-Qaeda. The U.S. embassy is a target. Should the U.S. get militarily involved?
Well, I think we're going to have to confront ISIS with a strategy that will stop them and deal with radical Islam, which is on the march. Let's go back to Syria for a moment. There is no mythical Arab army available to root ISIL out of Syria without some American help. Saudi, Qatar, all of them are ready to go in on the ground if America will support the operation. Not be 100,000, but support it. Turkey is ready to go in on the ground. Without a no-fly zone, everybody you train to go in Syria is eventually going to get killed by Assad. So when the president wrote a letter to the Ayatollah in Iran saying our airstrikes in Syria are not directed against Assad, that's a fatal flaw in the strategy. As to Yemen, the Iranians are backing the Houthis. 4 Arab capitals are substantially controlled by Iran. You got Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen under the influence of Iranian agents. There's going to be a bloodletting between Sunnis and Shias in the Mideast like you haven't seen.
So do you think, okay, when you're giving this, though, are you saying that you think this can be done with a no-fly zone enforced by the United States alone? Or, in Syria. Or are you also saying that U.S. troops will be required? Because the president, again, tonight is going to champion that he has not put more troops in.
This is important. You cannot win against ISIL in Iraq and Syria without a ground component. There is no Iraqi army in Syria. So when we train this Free Syrian Army who's willing to fight, if you don't deal with the threat they have from Assad, they're just not going to fight ISIS. They're exposed to air attacks from Assad. To go in on the ground and win in Syria, you're going to need a regional coalition of Arab armies because it will take years to train up the Syrians. We'll have to be part of that with special forces. If we don't, they'll lose. The worst possible outcome, Aaron, is to take ISIL on and lose.